Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Coffee with Craig. As you can see, I'm in a different location. We're having some work done in my office. So I figured you guys didn't want to see, painters and everything, and I didn't want to get paint all over myself and all over y'all. So I'm in a different office doing Coffee with Craig today. Wanted to talk with you this morning about something. There was an article recently in guns.com, and they were talking about what happened at the Ohio campus. As you guys remember, at Ohio State, there was recently an attempted, a guy drove onto campus, started shooting folks, or not shooting folks, started stabbing folks, ran people down the road, started trying to stab folks. Well, now there's a big push in Ohio to allow students to carry, or students and staff to carry handguns if you have a concealed carry permit on campus. Well, needless to say, the anti-civil rights, the anti-Second Amendment, tolerant folks at the university have now come forward and they're like, no, we can't allow gun. We can't allow this. We need to maintain these gun-free zones. One of the things that they point out, Dr. Lott, who's the author of War on Guns, he penned an editorial. And in it, he said something that I've been saying, and I think a lot of folks have been saying for a long time. Gun-free zones are magnets for murderers. And that's exactly it. It says even the most ardent gun control advocate would never put gun-free zone signs on their home. Let's stop putting them elsewhere. And I happen to agree with that. I think it is unconscionable that folks would. First of all, let's take a step back. What a lot of people don't realize is, for the longest time in many states, the ability to carry a firearm on campus if you had a concealed weapons permit has been around. Here in the state of California, it was, prior to 2015, if you had a concealed carry permit, you were able to carry on a college, university, high school, or even elementary school campus if you had your CCW. Now, how many incidents have occurred on school campuses throughout the state of California since the CCW program began back in the 60s? How many? How many? You want to know how many? Zero. Zero incidents involving concealed carry permit holders have occurred. And that's the thing, is this false narrative that they keep trying to put forward that, well, if you allow guns to be on campus, well, that's gonna create a more violent environment. Well, no, because here's the thing. The criminals, they're gonna have their guns on campus. The mass shooters or the murderers or the people who are planning to go on campus in order to perpetuate some sort of violence, guess what? That gun-free zone sign's not going to stop them. It's not going to stop them. There was a debate back in August, and this was at the University of Texas, Austin, where they recently passed a law allowing students to carry on campus. And by the way, that's the campus where they had the, dildos, not guns, whole protest. Yeah, exactly. But what was interesting about it was, when they were there, they were arguing, they were saying, the folks were saying, well, that's going to chill debate and people aren't going to be allowed to feel like they can speak openly because there are people carrying guns on campus. Well, hello, the people that you need to be worried about, they were carrying guns before. And they're carrying guns now. They're not the people that you claim you don't want to have a firearm on campus. The person who you want to have a firearm on campus, that's the one who's going to stop that other guy, the guy that you don't want to have one, the guy who is potentially going to cause a problem on school grounds. That's who that individual is going to protect you from. Now, what was really interesting about that debate was that there was a survivor from the Virginia Tech mass shooting. He was a student there at the University of Texas, and he actually was debating in favor of campus carry. His whole position was, look, we want people on campus to be able to defend ourselves because in the end, individuals, what's the word I'm looking for? In the end, what happens is the police took too long. 32 people died because the police weren't able to get there in time. And that's not the police's fault. Law enforcement can only get there when they get there, right? They can get the report and they got to get there. But oftentimes, law enforcement is minutes away when seconds matter. And he said the worst thing about the whole thing was he felt defenseless. Defenseless. He had no ability to be able to defend himself or his friends or anything. And that was probably the biggest issue. So let's go here. Let's go to the video online and see what you folks have to say about this. We are our own first responders. Yep. William, yep. You've heard me say it a million times. Okay, no lead bullets. Don't know where that came from. Thank you, Franco. Let's see. Where are our sheriffs for any kind of support? Take a stand. Well, okay, so here's the deal. So there are some sheriffs, first of all, a good number of sheriffs are supportive of the Second Amendment and are supportive of the idea of concealed carry. The big challenge we have here in the state of California is that because they're the ones who make the decision, it's not always applied the same across the state. Not everybody has the same ability or, quite frankly, the way the sheriffs treat it, the same right to be able to carry. And that's one of the things that FPC and the Cal Guns Foundation and the Firearms Policy Foundation have really been working towards, trying to make sure that all Californians have the same right to be able to defend themselves and exercise their right to bear arms. Let's see, do we have any other comments here? Sheriffs are in the most densely populated counties are anti-2A. You know, and I guess here's the thing, and here's what I'll tell you about that. There are definitely individuals in certain sheriff's departments, or certain sheriffs who don't allow everyone to exercise their right to keep and bear arms, but there are a lot who do. The big challenge is making sure that their policies are consistent with the law. And that's what our main goal is, to make sure that their policies are consistent. But let me say this, just in general, law enforcement, especially rank and file law enforcement officers, tend to be very supportive of the Second Amendment, tend to be very supportive of an individual's right to keep and bear arms. This is from Matt, I've been pushing my policymakers in Santa Clara County very hard, but our sheriff, it went down a little bit, but our sheriff isn't having it. Well, the main thing to do is that if there's issues or concerns relating to your sheriff or your sheriff's policies, contact the Cal Guns Foundation. They're the ones who are putting together a bunch of information in order to make sure, once again, that sheriffs are in compliance with the law. So that's what I would encourage you to do. That's to Matt in Santa Clara. Let's see. I just heard California will also eliminate. Oh, well, I do not know that. All right, come on, folks. I love y'all, but let's try and stick on the topic. We're talking about gun-free zones. Maybe we'll look into talking about ammunition and lead bullets and some of this stuff. Maybe that's a great idea for a future Coffee with Craig. But right now we're talking about gun-free zones. Oh, you know what? One of the things that was interesting, I didn't even know. You know, at the state capital of Texas, you're allowed to conceal carry, even in some cases open carry, at the state capitol. Yeah, try and walk into the state capitol here in California with something that looks like a firearm or a firearm part. Yeah, they're not having it. In any case, folks, looks like I'm running out of time. Appreciate you guys for watching. If you have any other comments, please make sure, put them in. I will definitely make sure to try and get back to you and respond in the comments. So folks, take care, and I enjoyed having coffee with you this morning. Take care.
If you like these updates, please share them with your friends and subscribe to our YouTube channel.